New York City chose a new mayor. His name is Zohran Mamdani. This election happened on November 4, 2025. Many people were very surprised by this choice. Zohran Mamdani was only 34 years old. When he started his campaign, only 1% of people thought he would win. He won against Andrew Cuomo, who was a former governor. Cuomo had many years of political experience and a lot of money for his campaign. Mamdani won with over 1 million votes, thanks to many young voters and people from immigrant families. This was a very important moment for politics in America. Zohran Mamdani will be the first Muslim mayor of New York City. He is also the first mayor from South Asia. He was born in Uganda, making him the first mayor born in Africa. He is also the city's first mayor from the millennial generation and the youngest mayor in over 130 years. When he starts work on January 1, 2026, he will be the most important elected Muslim official in the United States. This is a big and meaningful step for Muslim Americans. However, beneath this historic win, there is a more complex story. Many people see Zohran Mamdani's work experience as quite small for such a big job. Before he was elected to the New York State Assembly in 2020, he worked for about 3 years as a housing counselor. He also had short jobs as a campaign organizer, a music supervisor, and even tried to be a rapper. His time in the assembly was only 5 years, and he managed a small team of 5 people. Now he must lead a city with a huge budget of $116 billion. He will manage about 300,000 city employees. He will also oversee the New York City Police Department, the transport system, the Parks Department, and many other large city offices. New York is the biggest and most difficult city in America to manage. So, a big question is on the minds of many New Yorkers. Can this politician, who has not had much experience, really make his big plans happen? He has a transformative agenda, meaning he wants to change many things in a big way. Or will the challenges of running such a big city be too much for him? Will his promises be hard to keep? Many people wonder if New Yorkers will be happy, or if the progressive political movement will be hurt if he does not succeed. 2. His early life. Zohran Mamdani was born in Kampala, Uganda in 1991. His parents were both important people. His father, Mahmoud Mamdani, was a famous professor. He taught government and cultures at Columbia University and was a leading scholar. His mother, Mira Nair, was a well-known filmmaker. Her movies often explored themes of migration, cultural identity, and social justice. Zohran's early life was shaped by his parents' work. He grew up around discussions about fairness for all people. He spent his first years in Uganda and South Africa. In 1999, his family moved to New York City when his father joined Columbia University. Zohran often went to political rallies and lectures with his parents. He learned early about power structures and inequality from his father's studies. His mother's films taught him about telling diverse stories. He attended the Bronx High School of Science. There, he helped start the school's first cricket team. This showed him that working with others could bring about change. He then went to Bowdoin College in Maine, studying Africana Studies and Government. In college, he co-founded the first Students for Justice in Palestine chapter, showing his early interest in global issues. After college in 2014, Zohran worked briefly as an organizer for progressive groups. He also worked as a music supervisor for one of his mother's films and briefly tried a rap career. A key moment came around 2015 when he became a housing counselor in Queens. He helped low-income homeowners, many of color, who were losing their homes. He saw how the city's housing problems were caused by policies, not accidents. These policies often favored big money over regular people. This experience greatly influenced him and made him want to enter politics. In 2020, he ran for the New York State Assembly. Many did not think he would win because he was new to politics. But he won, getting support from young, progressive voters in Astoria and the Democratic Socialists of America. He was re-elected without opposition in 2022 and 2024, building his political career. 3. The Big Campaign. When Zohran Mamdani started his campaign for mayor, not many people thought he could win. He was only 33 years old. He had little money and a small team. At the beginning, only 1% of voters said they would vote for him. But Zohran had a clear message. His campaign focused on making New York City more affordable for everyone. He wanted to help working-class families with their daily costs. He made 4 big promises. First, he promised free childcare for all young children from 6 weeks to 5 years old. This would save families a lot of money, costing around $6 billion each year. Second, he wanted to make public transport free. This included city buses and lower prices for subways. He said this would cost about $800 million annually, which he considered a small amount for the city's large budget. Third, Zohran planned to open city-owned grocery stores. These stores would sell food at lower prices in different parts of the city. This would help people in poorer neighborhoods get fresh, affordable food. Fourth, he promised to build many new, cheap housing units. He wanted to construct 200,000 affordable homes in 10 years, a project that would cost $100 billion. He also pledged to freeze rents on apartments that already had rent limits. Many thought these ideas were too big or too expensive. But Zohran's message connected with many people. In the Democratic primary election, he ran against a very famous politician, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Governor Cuomo had a lot of money and support from big companies. Few people expected Zohran to win. But in June, Zohran won the primary election. This was a big surprise. He had strong support from everyday people, especially young voters and volunteers. His win showed that people wanted real change. After this, he secured the Democratic nomination. In the final election in November, Zohran Mamdani won again. He got more than 1 million votes, with a total of 50.4%. Many young people, immigrants, and working-class people voted. There was a very high number of voters, the highest in over 50 years. This showed how excited people were about Zohran's plans. Even former President Donald Trump spoke against Mamdani and threatened to cut federal money. But Zohran's win was clear. He became New York City's 111th mayor. 4. A difficult topic. Zohran Mamdani had strong opinions on the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and these views were not new. He consistently supported the Palestinian people. Back in 2011, when he was in college, he helped start a student group called Students for Justice in Palestine. Throughout his adult life, he spoke out for Palestinian freedom and against some of Israel's policies, including occupation. He also supported the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, known as BDS, which asks people to avoid certain dealings with Israel. During his campaign for mayor, these strong views caused a lot of debate. After the conflict started in October 2023, Zohran condemned the killing of civilians by Hamas. But he also stated that Israel's response was like genocide. He further criticized the United States, saying it was subsidizing a genocide by providing military aid to Israel. He separated his criticism of Israel's government and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu from any opposition to Jewish people themselves. He also quickly condemned some members of the Democratic Socialists of America who seemed to celebrate Hamas at a rally, saying that supporting Palestinian freedom should never mean celebrating the loss of civilian lives. Many Jewish leaders in New York were very worried about Zohran's opinions. Rabbi Elliot Cosgrove of Park Avenue Synagogue publicly stated that Zohran Mamdani was a danger to the safety of the New York Jewish community. More than 1,000 rabbis and Jewish leaders from across the country signed a letter sharing similar concerns. They believed his anti-Zionist words could encourage anti-Semitism. A significant number of Jewish New Yorkers felt troubled by his rhetoric, and some Jewish organizations actively opposed his campaign. However, there was also a surprising amount of support for Zohran from other parts of the Jewish community. Many younger Jewish voters and members of progressive Jewish organizations, such as Jewish Voice for Peace, showed their support for him. A poll from October 2025 revealed this split. 43% of Jewish New Yorkers plan to vote for Mamdani. This number rose to 67% among Jewish voters under 44. Zohran made special efforts to connect with Jewish communities. He visited synagogues during important Jewish holidays and spoke with voters about his beliefs. He argued that it was possible to support Palestinian rights and criticize Israeli policies while still being against anti-Semitism and respecting Jewish identity. At one progressive synagogue service, he received warm applause. This showed a clear division in how Jewish people in New York viewed the conflict and Zohran's stance. The issue remained a difficult and complex topic for the city. 5. His ideas on police. Zohran Mamdani once had strong opinions about the police department in New York City. In the year 2020, after a very sad event, he often said that the city should spend less money on the police. He shared his ideas on social media, saying that the NYPD, which is the New York Police Department, was not good for public safety. He used strong words like defund and dismantle the police. He felt that there was no way to fix the police as it was. However, during his campaign to become mayor, his views began to change. This change became very clear after a very tragic event in July 2025. There was a terrible shooting in the middle of Manhattan, and it was the worst in 25 years. An NYPD officer, Didul Islam, and 3 other people died. This event put a lot of pressure on Zohran Mamdani to talk about his past words. Zohran Mamdani was away on his honeymoon when the shooting happened, but he quickly came back to New York. He went to visit the family of Officer Islam to show his respect and sorrow. After this visit, he held a press conference. He spoke directly and said, "I am not defunding the police. I am not running to defund the police." This was a clear message that his position had moved. He also publicly said he was sorry to the NYPD for his earlier strong criticisms. He explained his apology to Martha McCallum on Fox News. He said he wanted to work with the police officers. He understood that these men and women who serve in the NYPD put their lives at risk every single day to protect the city. His new idea was to help police officers do their job better. He suggested creating special teams to handle mental health problems. These teams would respond to people needing help with their minds, so police officers could focus on more serious crimes. This new way of thinking caused different reactions. Some people, especially those who were very progressive, felt that Zohran Mamdani had changed his mind too much. They thought he was trying to please other people to win the election. They felt he was not sticking to his original beliefs. But many other people, including some in the news, thought his change was smart and necessary. They believed it showed he was growing as a leader and understood what it meant to lead a big city like New York. They saw it as a practical decision for public safety. After he won the election, Zohran Mamdani showed his commitment to public safety. He announced that Jessica Tisch would continue as the police commissioner. This decision meant that he wanted to keep things stable in the police department. He also chose people with experience from past city governments to join his team. This signaled that he was building a team to run the city well, focusing on real results rather than only new and untested ideas. 6. The new mayor's big job. Zohran Mamdani became the new mayor of New York City, but many people had worries about his big job. Critics said he did not have enough experience for such a large role. Before this, Mamdani was a state assemblyman for only 5 years, managing a small team of 5 people. Now, he needed to lead a city with a $116 billion budget and manage about 300,000 city employees. These include vital services like the police, transport, parks, and sanitation. Running a city like New York is a very difficult task, and some questioned if he was ready. Experts wondered if his big plans would work in a real government. He had never managed a large organization or a big budget. Political strategist Hank Scheinkopf noted that Mamdani seemed to lack understanding of how city operations run. Even his supporters recognized the challenges. The New York Times advised him that success would depend on his ability to govern well, not just his popular ideas. They suggested he should hire experienced professionals to help him lead. His main plans, like free childcare, will be very expensive and hard to achieve. Experts estimate free childcare could cost $6 billion each year, which is more than the police department's budget. Building 200,000 new affordable homes is another huge project. It requires many workers, environmental checks, special permits, and land acquisition. These are not simple goals to meet. To make his plans happen, Mayor Mamdani will need a lot of help from the state government. For free childcare, he needs approval from the state legislature and Governor Kathy Hochul for new taxes. Governor Hochul supported the idea of universal childcare, but said she opposes raising taxes on wealthy individuals or corporations. She fears businesses might leave the state. Also, making city buses free needs the state to help replace the lost ticket money. These disagreements and the need for state cooperation mean getting his biggest plans approved and funded will be a major challenge for the new mayor. 7. Big ideas, big problems. Zohran Mamdani is a democratic socialist. He has a very new and strong vision for New York City. He wants to change things a lot to help working people and make the city fair for everyone. His election was not just important for New York. It caught the eye of people all over the country. President Donald Trump, who is currently leading the country in his second presidency, spoke about Zohran. He called him a communist lunatic. President Trump also said he might not give federal money to New York City if Zohran was mayor. This caused a lot of worry. Because of this, Zohran faces many big problems right away. One challenge is his difficult relationship with the federal government. He also needs to quickly show that his big ideas can work. People want to see changes fast. For example, he promised to freeze rents on many apartments. This is something he can do more easily because it is a city decision. But other big plans, like free public transport, need help from the state government. The state must agree to give money for this. His biggest plan, free childcare for all young children, will cost many billions of dollars each year. He needs the state to approve new taxes to pay for it. The state governor supports the idea of universal child care. However, she has said she does not want to raise taxes on rich people or companies. This difference in ideas will be a big challenge for Zohran. Zohran must find a way to work with both the state and federal governments, even if they have different plans. His success will show if his progressive ideas can truly solve the city's problems. If he cannot make his promises happen, it could hurt the progressive movement in other places too. 8. The future of the city. Zohran Mamdani's election as mayor of New York City is a very important moment for progressive politics in America. Many people are watching to see what he will do. His win showed that new ideas for city government can get a lot of support, especially from young people, immigrants, and working-class families. He promised to make the city more affordable for everyone. Now, Mamdani has a big chance. He needs to show that his progressive ideas can really help solve problems like high housing costs, expensive childcare, and public transport. If he can make a real difference in these areas, New York City could become an example for other cities across the country. Other places might look at his success and try similar things. This would be a big win for the progressive movement. However, there are also many challenges ahead. Mamdani does not have a lot of experience leading a big city government. He must work with a large budget and many city departments. His big plans, like free childcare, will need a lot of money. He will need help from the state government to find these funds. This could be hard, as the state might not always agree with his ideas. He also needs to manage his relationships with different groups in the city, like some parts of the Jewish community, while still holding his beliefs about other global issues. The relationship with the federal government will also be difficult, with a potentially hostile administration. His election raises important questions. Can he deliver on his promises to improve daily life for New Yorkers? Will his progressive beliefs truly change things for the better, or will the difficulties of governing slow him down? Some people worry that if he fails, it could make the progressive movement look bad. It might make people think that these new ideas do not work. The next few years will tell us a lot. What Mamdani does as mayor will shape the future of New York City. It might also show a new path for politics in America. His journey will be a test. What do you think will be the biggest challenge for Mayor Mamdani as he leads New York City?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world. Thank you.